I'd be lying if I said I didn't put this jacket on because I'm obsessed with Tom Hardy. Wait, am I too high? I'm wearing heels. Whew. A plus for being a prepared YouTuber. Hi, my name's Gemma and I need to keep my shit accountable. So basically I've detected a habit lately of starting a lot of books and putting them down and not finishing them. So I really want to film this TBR video because I need to keep myself accountable and I need to finish these books this month. It's very ambitious. There's like 7 books here. We'll see. The first book on my list is The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. So I have been reading this for the better part of a month and a half and this isn't even my copy, this is my friend's, so I really need to finish it. So for those who don't know, it's set in a world where the fertility rate is basically 0, and so the women that can still conceive and give birth are like married into these relationships and they have to have like sex with the man and get pregnant. And it's interesting and I liked the start of it, but now I'm just kind of bored. It's become less political and more romance, and Offred is really annoying me. So much annoyance. But I'm gonna finish it. I'm only like 50 pages I want to say from finishing it, so I'll definitely, hopefully, finish that today. The second book is one that I've actually already read. I'm just rereading it because I want to film a video and I want to include it and I want to make sure that everything is just accurate and that my negative first impression of this book isn't biased. It is Milk and Honey by Rupi Kaur. So as I just said, I don't really like this book for a variety of reasons, and the video that I want to film with this in it is about stream of consciousness writing. So we'll see. So for those who don't know, Rupi Kaur became pretty Insta famous and Tumblr famous as well for writing these really kind of delicate poetry, I want to say. It's very stream of consciousness. This book is separated into 3 parts of her life, I believe, and she just kind of talks about her life. And look, I didn't hate it, it's just not one for me, but maybe my second time around will be better. I don't know, I'm trying to remain optimistic. The second book is one that I think I've mentioned before on this channel, not 100% sure, I think it was in one of my hauls, but it is Good Omens by Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett. I love Neil Gaiman's style of writing. I think he is an incredible storyteller. I think he is incredibly funny, and so I'm really excited. I feel like I just saw a picture. Did I? No, I just saw a blank page. I'm really excited to get to this one. It is about, I believe it's a doomsday novel, and it's kind of set between a war between good and evil, and that just really excites me. I think I wrote a short story about that a few years ago, or something similar to that, so I'm really excited. Also, this book is like, it's got like flecks of glitter in it. It's really pretty. The light is just catching it. It's gorgeous, but I am really excited to get to this one. The next book on my list is Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them by J.K. Rowling. So I loved the movie, and I just went out and bought the book, and I've never actually read the screenplay. So I thought this month would be really good to kind of get myself back on track, get myself out of a reading slump, feel really accomplished even though, you know, each page is kind of like half a page. So I'm pretty sure everyone knows what this is about, but it follows this kind of textbook that is talked about in the Harry Potter series called Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, and it's written by this wizard called Newt Scamander, and it follows him through the 1920s, and I'm just really excited. I think I'm just going to allocate a weekend to diving back into the world of Harry Potter. The next book isn't really a book at all. It was featured in my A Very Literary book haul. It is Politics and the English Language by George Orwell. So it is tiny. I'm literally gonna spend like a train ride reading this, but I thought it'd be a good way to start off the kind of mound of political novels that I bought. So yeah, I'm really excited. He just kind of talks about how politics has been shaped by the English language and how the English language has been shaped by politics. So he just kind of unravels that kind of festering ball. And there's also at the back of this a review of Mein Kampf, which I am very intrigued by. So hopefully this is as good as his other two that I've read, 1984 and Animal Farm. I love those political novels, so I'm hoping I like this too. Next is a book that I've literally been waiting to read for about 5 years and I just never have. It's Unsold by Neil Shusterman. So basically, Unwind is one of my favourite books of all time. Unholy is a phenomenal sequel, one of the only sequels that I like as much as the first book. And I read them both when I was about 12. I'm 17 now. And I reread them both at the start of this year. And then I went out and bought this and I never got to it. And that's appalling because this is actually a phenomenal series. Book 1, Unwind, follows 3 kids who are born post-war, and that war was fought between pro-life and pro-choice armies. And basically the compromise that both armies came to was that you couldn't abort a fetus, but you could retroactively abort them through the process of unwinding before the age of 18, meaning that you harvest their body for their organs and their parts and whatnot, but they are technically still alive in the different bodies that the organs are given to. So it's very, very philosophical almost. It definitely requires you to kind of think like, what would you do in that kind of circumstance? And the characters are just incredible. Levi is one of the funniest characters I've ever read. He's just on the nose. Connor is hilarious. The character development is phenomenal. The supporting cast are amazing. And I really, 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 really want to finish this series because it is so good. So good. And I'm an idiot for not having read it sooner. The next one I'm a little bit on the fence about because I bought it because Reagan from Peru's Project really, really loved it. Except my best friend Zakaya didn't. So I don't know. I'm hoping I like it because I paid for it. It's 3 Dark Crowns by Kende Blake. So every time I've talked about this, because I think I've mentioned it a couple of times on this channel, I think it was actually in my first video, but every time I talk about it, I do a shit job on the synopsis, so I'm going to try. Has some makeup on it now. So basically, as far as I know, it's about 3 princesses who kind of have to fight each other for the throne, and they were raised in like different districts, and each district has a power, and you can kind of tell by their crowns, I guess. I'm not really sure, but it sounded really interesting when Reagan talked about it. But now I don't know. Now Zakaya's thrown me, so Zakaya, if you're watching, thanks. The next one is A Farewell to Arms by Ernest Hemingway. So as you can tell, I've read this book. It's beat up, it's water damaged, I've spilled coffee on it. It's basically seen much, much, much better days, but I'm currently working on a Hemingway book, Hemingway book, ugh. I'm currently working on a Hemingway video. And like Milk and Honey, I'm kind of just rereading it and making sure everything that I say in that video is correct. But instead this time I'm making sure that it's correct and not overly superfluous because I love this book. It is my favourite Ernest Hemingway book. Basically it is about a man who goes to war and meets a woman and they fall in love, and a lot of iconic Hemingway quotes are in this. I would know because I've bookmarked them all. You were so brave and quiet, I forget that you were suffering. That's like a major, major quote. But it shows really beautiful platonic friendships as well, so that's one of my favourite things. I have lipstick on myself now. Great. It shows really beautiful platonic friendships, and it shows 2 very masculine men just loving each other, and I think that is really, really important. And I think that, you know, Hemingway is known for writing really stoic, manly men characters, and still he shows really beautiful platonic male friendships. And so I'm reading this to get better at writing male platonic friendships. And I'm reading this because it's a phenomenal book that I think every single human in every single planet should read. And last but not least is The School for Good and Evil by Suman Shanani. Probably pronouncing that wrong, definitely pronouncing that wrong. Again, this is another book that has been featured in a haul from months begone. But basically it's about this fantasy world, I think, or children's fantasy world. I'm not 100% sure, but it's about this world where there are 2 schools and you go to one either to learn to be like really, really good and pure, or the evil school where you learn to be, you know, a terrible human being. But it's about these 2 girls who thought they knew which school they were going to be sorted into, but it actually gets swapped around. And I'm just Look, I'm really excited. Everybody loves this book. I haven't met a single person who didn't. So I'm just excited to read it. Also, the main characters, one of them is called Agatha, and I love that name. So, yeah. So that wraps up my September TBR. Hopefully I get through most, if not all of them. I might film a wrap up if I read like more than 4. But until next time, bye guys.